The scariest thing about this story, it doesn't start with screams. It doesn't start with blood. It doesn't even start with violence. It starts with silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears, the kind that feels wrong. A quiet, suburban night, a calm house, a family asleep in their beds. And by morning, 6 people are dead. No signs of a struggle, no cries for help, no neighbors hearing a thing. Just bodies, still warm, lying exactly where they went to sleep. And the killer? He was already inside the house. Amityville, New York. A peaceful town, tree-lined streets, white fences, the kind of place where people leave their doors unlocked. At the center of it all stood a big Dutch colonial home. 3 stories, wide windows, a canal flowing behind it. Picture perfect, the kind of house people dream about owning. What no one knew was that this house was about to become one of the most infamous addresses in American history. And it wasn't because of ghosts. Not at first. Inside that house lived the DeFeo family. Ronald DeFeo Jr., his wife Louise, and their 5 kids. A normal family on the outside. But inside those walls, things were cracking. Ronald Sr. was strict, angry, explosive. Arguments were normal. Yelling was common. Fear lived quietly in the corners of the house. And then there was the eldest son, Ronald DeFeo Jr. People called him Butch, big guy, short temper, known around town for trouble, drugs, alcohol, violence, a ticking time bomb with no off switch. And nobody realized how close that bomb was to going off. That night, the house went quiet. One by one, every single family member went to bed. Parents upstairs, kids in their rooms. No locked doors, no alarms. No idea it would be their last night alive. Hours passed, then something moved through the darkness. Bare feet on carpet, a door opening, a gun lifted. The first shot didn't wake anyone else up. Neither did the second or the third. Room by room, bed by bed, each family member was shot while lying face down. No one fought back. No one ran. It was like they never even had a chance. When morning came, the house didn't look like a crime scene. No broken furniture, no overturned lamps, no blood splattered on walls. Just stillness. Too still. Later that day, Ronald DeFeo Jr. walked into a local bar. His face was pale, his voice shaking. He told people something terrible had happened. My family. Someone killed my family. Police rushed to the house. They walked in expecting chaos. Instead, they walked into a nightmare frozen in time. 6 bodies, 6 beds, 6 gunshot wounds, all shot with the same weapon, all lying face down, all murdered in their sleep. Seasoned detectives stood there silent, because something about it didn't add up. No signs of forced entry, no neighbors hearing gunshots, no family members waking up. A high-powered rifle fired 6 times inside a house, and nobody heard a thing. That doesn't just happen. And then there was the positioning. Every body was face down, as if they were placed that way, as if someone wanted them that way. The house felt wrong, not haunted, not cursed, just wrong. Police brought Ronald DeFeo Jr. in for questioning. At first, he played the grieving son, crying, shaking, saying he loved his family. He told them he'd been out all night, said he came home and found the bodies. But his story kept changing. Details shifted, times didn't line up. And then police found the weapon. The same rifle used to kill his family. It belonged to him. Suddenly, the grieving son didn't look so innocent anymore. Under pressure, Ronald DeFeo Jr. broke. And when he broke, the truth came out. Or at least, his version of it. He admitted it. He killed them. Every single one. His parents, his brothers, his sisters. But the reason he gave? That's where things get disturbing. He said voices told him to do it. Voices that came from inside the house. Voices that wouldn't stop. Voices that ordered him to kill his family. And if he didn't, they said they'd kill him. Police weren't buying it. They saw rage, drugs, greed. They believed this was a massacre driven by hatred and instability. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was arrested and charged with 6 counts of murder. Case closed, right? Not even close, because once the trial started, the story got darker. In court, DeFeo described the murders in chilling detail, how he moved room to room, how nobody woke up, how it felt easy, too easy. Psychiatrists evaluated him. Some said he was sane. Others said he was deeply disturbed. The defense leaned hard into insanity, voices, hallucinations, loss of control. The prosecution didn't care. 6 people were dead, and the man sitting in that chair pulled the trigger. The jury didn't hesitate. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was found guilty. 6 life sentences, no parole. He was locked away forever. And the house? The house sat empty, silent, waiting. Most people would have avoided it forever. But just over a year later, someone new moved in. The Lutz family, George, Kathy, and their children. They got the house for a steal, way below market value, because everyone knew what happened there. But George didn't care. He thought it was just a murder house, a bad history, nothing more. He was wrong. From the moment they moved in, something felt off. Doors slamming, cold spots, strange smells. George started acting different, short-tempered, obsessed with the house. Kathy had nightmares. The kids talked about seeing things. And the house itself, it felt alive, watching, waiting, feeding. After only a short time, the Lutz family fled, left everything behind. They said the house was evil, demonic, possessed. And that's when the Amityville Horror was born. Books, movies, documentaries. The house became legend. But here's the thing. People argue to this day whether the haunting was real, whether it was all a hoax. But one thing nobody can deny, the murders were real, and Ronald DeFeo Jr. was real. Over the years, DeFeo changed his story again, and again, and again. Sometimes he said he acted alone. Sometimes he said his sister helped. Sometimes he said his parents were involved. Sometimes he took it all back. And sometimes he went back to the voices, saying they never left him, saying the house made him do it, saying evil lived inside those walls long before he did. Investigators revisited the crime scene, re-examined evidence, and strange questions started coming up. How did nobody wake up? Why were all the bodies face down? Why were there no signs of resistance? Why did the neighbors hear nothing? And the biggest question of all, was Ronald DeFeo Jr. really alone that night? Because some details don't fit, some facts refuse to line up, and some answers only create more questions. Was this a family annihilation fueled by rage and drugs? Or was something darker at play? Something unseen? Something that whispered in the dark? Something that wanted blood? The house still stands today, renovated, renamed, quiet. Families live there. Kids sleep in those rooms. Beds sit where bodies once lay. And most nights, nothing happens. But sometimes, people swear they feel watched. Sometimes they hear things. Sometimes they wake up and don't know why. And somewhere, locked behind prison walls, Ronald DeFeo Jr. kept talking, kept changing his story, kept hinting that the truth was bigger than anyone wanted to admit. Because what if the murders weren't the beginning? What if they were just the first act? What if the real horror didn't come from the man, but from the house itself? And what if that house never stopped feeding? Ronald DeFeo Jr. didn't stop talking after the verdict. Most killers shut down once the cell door slams behind them. But not him. He talked to guards, to doctors, to reporters, to anyone willing to listen. And every time he talked, the story shifted. Sometimes just a little, sometimes completely. And every version made the case feel less finished. At one point, DeFeo said he didn't kill his family alone. He said his sister was involved, that she helped him, that she knew what was going to happen. Then he changed it again, said his parents were fighting, said his father snapped first, said he only finished what had already started. Then later, he erased all of that, went right back to the voices, the house, the darkness, the thing that wouldn't let him sleep. Psychiatrists couldn't pin him down. Some said he was lying to stay relevant. Some said he was manipulating the system. Others weren't so sure. Because when DeFeo described the voices, he didn't sound like he was acting. He described them as constant, not whispers, commands, orders, like something standing right behind him, breathing down his neck, telling him what to do, and promising there was no escape. People wanted to believe he was just a monster, a violent addict who snapped. That explanation feels clean, comfortable, because if he was just a man who lost control, then this kind of evil is rare, containable. But the deeper people looked, the messier it got. Investigators re-examined the crime scene details, not rumors, not stories, facts, the weapon, the layout, the bodies. And that same question kept coming back. How did 6 people get shot with a powerful rifle, and nobody moved? No defensive wounds, no signs of struggle, no attempt to run. It was as if every single person was instantly subdued, or already unconscious, or something else entirely. Even gun experts were confused. A rifle like that is loud. Walls don't mute it. Sleep doesn't mute it. Someone should have woken up, but they didn't. And every body was found face down. Not curled, not twisted, placed, like they were positioned that way on purpose. That detail never sat right with detectives. Then there was the timeline. DeFeo claimed he committed the murders alone, room by room. But the physical evidence suggested something faster, more efficient, almost coordinated. Some investigators quietly admitted something felt off. Not paranormal, just off. Like the full truth never made it to the surface. Meanwhile, the house itself became famous, infamous. The Amityville Horror exploded into pop culture. Books topped bestseller lists. Movies packed theaters. People argued endlessly. Real haunting or fake? Money grab or genuine terror? The Lutz family was accused of lying, of exaggerating, of inventing demons for profit. And maybe they did. But here's the problem. The haunting doesn't have to be real for the murders to still be deeply disturbing. Because long before the Lutz family, before the books, before the movies, that house already had a reputation. Not a famous one, but a quiet one. Locals talked, whispers, strange vibes. People who stayed there before the DeFeos said the house felt heavy, oppressive, like it was pressing down on you. Nothing you could prove, just something you felt. And Ronald DeFeo Jr. lived there his entire life, inside that pressure, inside that environment, growing angrier, more unstable, more violent. Some psychologists believe the house didn't cause the murders, but it became the perfect stage for them, a place where rage had room to grow, where darkness felt normal, where silence swallowed screams. Years passed, decades. The house changed owners. The address was changed. The iconic windows altered. People tried to erase the past, but the story never went away. Every new owner was asked the same question. Is it haunted? Most said no. Some refused to talk at all. Ronald DeFeo Jr. aged behind bars. His body broke down, but his mouth never stopped. Near the end of his life, he gave more interviews, and once again, he shifted. This time, he sounded tired, less theatrical, less defensive. He admitted some lies, but not all. And when asked one final time why it happened, he didn't say drugs. He didn't say anger. He didn't say money. He said the house messed with his head. He said it fed his worst thoughts. He said once the idea entered his mind, it wouldn't leave. People hate that answer because it sounds like an excuse. And maybe it is. But even excuses can hide pieces of truth. Not about demons, not about ghosts, but about how environments shape people, how violence can brew quietly, how warning signs get ignored. The scariest part of the Amityville murders isn't the haunting, it's how ordinary everything looked beforehand. No alarms, no dramatic buildup, no one stepping in, just a family going to sleep, trusting the walls around them, trusting the people inside them, and never waking up. Ronald DeFeo Jr. eventually died in prison. No redemption, no final confession that solved everything. Just a man who took answers to the grave, and a case that never fully closed. So what really happened in that house? A son snapping under years of rage, a family destroyed by violence no one stopped in time, or something darker growing quietly in the background. The truth is probably less supernatural and more uncomfortable. Because the real horror isn't a haunted house, it's how easily violence can hide behind normal lives, how monsters don't always look like monsters, how evil doesn't need ghosts to exist. The Amityville house still stands, people still live there, life goes on, kids laugh, lights turn off at night, and most of the time, it's just a house. But every once in a while, someone drives past it a little slower, looks at those windows, and wonders what really happened inside. Because 6 people didn't just disappear, they were erased in their sleep by someone they trusted in a place that was supposed to be safe. And that is the kind of horror that never fades.